Well, what made me stick with the charter school was right away noticed that the children didn't, the conflicts were handled well. There weren't physical fights. And so I noticed that the first year, and I talked to other teachers that worked in the public school system, and they thought that was amazing. So I just assumed it was a normal thing since it was so early in my career, but I was, it was made clear to me by other teaching cohorts around the city that children not fighting was a big deal. And that's something I've always enjoyed and appreciated here where I work here at Prairie.
There are a lot of things that make distinctive schools unique. When I first got the job, I was really impressed that it's a college prep school, so it really pushes the kids. Like when I was a kid, I didn't learn half the stuff I have to learn, like teach my kids now. I had to reteach myself, so it was really pushing them. Like things I'm teaching my fourth graders is stuff that I learned in high school. So I think that's just really unique, and it's really preparing them for college. And we really want, that's our big goal, is that we want them to go to college. We're not just saying, oh, you're going to go to high school and that's all. Like we really want to push them for the college goal. And just really, that we can kind of make our own curriculum, and it's not like we're set to a certain mold. Like we can kind of do our own thing, which is nice.
I actually just graduated college last summer, so this was my very first teaching job, and I was very excited working in a charter school because we're allowed so much freedom with our curriculum and all of that stuff. So I was very excited, but I was also a little nervous because I didn't know what to expect, and everyone here has just made it so welcoming, and I've never felt like I wasn't supported. And if I had a question, I always had someone I could go to, whether it was a administrative person or another teacher. It was really, really nice and welcoming, so I was really appreciative of that.
This is my first year working at a charter school, and I know there's a huge difference because last year I worked at a public school, so the freedom with curriculum and the support that is given is wonderful with distinctive schools. The network is so big and there are so many people that you can bounce ideas off of and get the support all the time, no matter when you need it. So that's wonderful.
What makes distinctive schools unique in comparison to other charter schools that I've worked at is the amount of professional development that's provided for the teachers. We're provided weekly with professional developments that go towards a number of different areas and help support us in the classroom and with everything else in the field of education. So I'm very, very happy with the amount of professional development that we have received as teachers.
I think that the greatest asset of having an alternative to the regular school district is having our school, which is a charter school. And the main reason that I feel that is because we go for a longer day and we actually go for a longer school year, which gives the students more opportunities for learning and more time in the classroom and with the teachers. We are not held to the same curriculum restraints, which I think is awesome. And the fact that we partner very heavily with the community as well as parents is also a great asset that I think that you would find would be a little bit different with a regular school district.
This year we had several students who came in who weren't quite comfortable here at CICS Patriots, and being that the change came, it was such a dramatic change on the students that we had a lot of uncomfortable students, and we had behavior issues with those students. And one particular student in particular, I didn't think that he was going to make it. I didn't think that he would last here, but he's still here and his behavior has changed dramatically. And I think one of the greatest causes of his behavior changing in that matter is the relationship that we develop through the months here at the school. Try to talk to him, bring him out, talk to him, show him that we are concerned about his behavior and show him that we care about him. And that plays a big piece here, and that's what we're all about. Not only making sure that the kids are doing well academically or being behavior-wise, but we want to make sure that we develop that relationship with the kids, and I think that's what played a big part in the change of his behavior and his success at the end of the year.
Having student taught at a number of schools and been a part of a number of schools, many people in my family being teachers, getting to see the way other schools work, there's a number of things that I found that make distinctive schools so unique. The biggest and most apparent, I think, is that they genuinely put students and children first in all situations. I think that so many schools get caught up, being public schools, in a lot of the areas in which they're set in their ways, and I believe that Distinctive is one of the few schools out there who will put students first in all situations and are willing to try new things. This was my first year as a teacher, and from day one, the day that I got hired, the day I signed my contract, walking into the Distinctive offices, I was greeted by nothing but the warmest, friendliest people who I think I've ever met. It was definitely a struggle, not only being a first-year teacher, but in a drastically different area than I grew up in, getting to know the community, and there were many late nights spent by the administration of the school, many late nights spent figuring things out, but I have felt the full weight and full strength of every single person in this school to help me succeed, and I think that through that, it's been an extremely successful year.
I've been working with Distinctive Schools for 2 years now, and I actually really enjoy working with Distinctive Schools. I find that they recognize teachers on a regular basis, which is always good, and they're very supportive, open to listening to suggestions and feedback that's actually always encouraged. So I really enjoy it.
Another thing that's been great about Distinctive Schools is there are so many leadership positions in place for certain subjects or certain needs that we would have. So, you know, there's someone to ask a question to whenever I need it. And they're always in and out of our buildings. It's very easy to just email someone and say, hey, what day of the week are you going to be in our building? I have a few questions for you. I want to bounce some ideas off of you. So that's been a great thing, and I feel like I've really utilized that, and they're all very approachable.
Distinctive is really unique because it's like a family atmosphere, and even though we have 5 different campuses, we kind of feel like one big family, and it feels good to know that Joey knows my first name. And that's just an amazing feeling to know that the head of the school knows personally who you are and what your strengths are and what you teach. And so that's just powerful to me.
When I started here at Prairie 7 years ago, it was under a different management company, and I was kind of just put into my classroom, wasn't given any information about, for instance, like how we use the NWEA test in which to gauge student growth. All I was told was, go have these kids take a test, okay? I wasn't, shown how to analyze the data or anything like that. And just the difference now with Distinctive is that our team leaders are constantly, checking in with us and showing us how to use different modes of analysis for the students and how to understand whether it's DIBELS or NWEA and the different pathways that we use in order to help our teaching. Our team leaders and our director as well, they're in our rooms all the time, just whether it's co-teaching or observing, and it's in a very non-threatening way where it's just letting us know that they're just here to assist us, and it's not we're going to lose our job if they pop in our room to do an observation. So it's just set up in a very positive and supportive framework.
Distinctive Schools really gives the support that a teacher needs to be successful. They're willing to try new things. They're willing to support you in any way that you might feel you need to be supported. The amount of collaboration that goes on, the programs, the innovations are really second to none.
Several years ago, my children were in a private school, and I had a neighbor whose children were going to CICS Bucktown, and I was really impressed by, their level of knowledge and education. They would sit with my kids and do homework, and I always felt like my son wasn't at their level. So I asked her, what school do they go to? And she said, well, there's a school called CICS Bucktown. And I thought, okay, well, I want to learn more about it. So I did a little research, asked a few other parents about the school, and decided to pull my son out of a private school that he had been at, and my daughter, who'd been there since kindergarten, who was now a 7th grader. Pulled both of them out of there, and I was able to get them into CICS Bucktown. At first I thought, wow, they really, demand a lot from us as parents. In the beginning it was a tough adjustment because I had to, respond to my involvement in the school. Brandon was learning certain levels of skills that were new to him, so I had to be involved in his learning. I had to participate in the school so that I would know what was going on. These weren't things that I was used to prior to him coming to CICS Bucktown. There is this expectation that if we're going to educate your child, you have to be a part of that education. And that was challenging because I was working and I didn't want to be a part of that. I just wanted to work, come home, help him get through homework, and that was it. But there was this great expectation, and it's really helped me to understand where he's at as far as his growth and development, and really what teachers are doing with him as he's learning. So it's been really, really good for me and for him.
I know that my children are getting an excellent education from teachers who are professional and kind. I know when I drop them off for school every morning, they're walking into a building that's clean and safe. I know that the environment every day is going to be calm and nurturing. When I walk in the building, personally, I always feel respected and welcome. This is a really special school, and I'm always proud to tell people that my children go to school here.
Here at DS, compared to schools that my kids have attended, I think the teaching style is different. The learning environment is personalized, individualized. It just all depends on what the kid needs. And I think that's unique. Because I'm always motivated in my education. So, and I'm still in school now as an older adult. So, I tell my kids, you're never too old to keep learning. You live long enough, you keep learning. So, I try to live by example.
I just think she's excelling. She's just, she comes home and she really enjoys certain subjects like science and math, and she's like, Mom, I can't tell you specifically, but she enjoys going to class. She really does, and it proves in her NWEA that she surpassed like her goals, and it's just amazing. I'm very content. I'm very happy with the results.
One of the programs they have here is the character education,
yes.
and it's not really focused on academics, but it helped these students become good citizens. And so community involvement, volunteering, things like that starts at an early age. And so if you get that embedded in them, then when they move on to high school, when they move on to college, and when they become adults, you'll see, more community involvement. You'll see kids giving back more. I like that they started, the recycling program. These are just the teachers and the students talking about what can we do to improve our community. And so they put this together on the fly, and they collect their stuff. And once a week, they will take it to the recycling place right in the neighborhood, so that they understand the importance of what it takes to be a good citizen. How do we keep our environment clean? How do we take care of our neighborhoods and stuff like that? So, and I don't know if I've seen that in the public schools. Not to say that it's not there. I just haven't seen it. Right.
Exactly right. I think, and when you say about the Character Act, when they're doing a good student and they're doing great and they're doing what they need to do, they get the little card that says your child was a great student today. They did A, B, C, and D.
Right.
And Kenya brings us home and says, "See, Mom, I'm doing what I need to do in school," and they're giving her that incentive to continue to do it. And she passes it on to other classmates. Because when she gets her, she's like, "See,
right.
you could have got this today. What's your excuse?"
Right.
So she's devoted, and they're devoted. And I think overall, if I had to say anything about a parent who wanted to bring their children to charter school, give your child that opportunity. Right. Give yourself that opportunity. Believe in helping them to grow and being successful. And as a parent, that's what we need to do in charter school, to give them that opportunity.
Right.
I think the parents and the teachers have a good system here. The ones that we've dealt with, I've communicated with my daughter's teachers through email, texting. They provide all their information to us. I've had to email teachers at last minute about homework, and they're very cooperative with us and very supportive.
And they respond in
a very
fast manner.
Fast manner, yes, right away almost sometimes. So they do a very good job communicating with the teachers and let us know what's coming up.
Sometimes we're sending emails or texts at 7 o'clock in the morning to the teachers to find out if it's dress down day or anything, and they're letting us know, and they get back to us really quickly. So that's
that's a plus.
Yes, it is.
Well, I think for me, it started with my mother. My father. They just said, Dola, you gotta give your all. Nothing is handed out to you. You have to work hard for whatever you want. I mean, when you look, and I'm going to piggyback into the Roseland community, there's not much here.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have grocery stores. We don't, we have a service station that draws all type of people from different areas. I mean, I live right next to a location where it just draws all kind of, stuff. My daughter can't even ride her bike outside of this community because so much is going on. But it started at home, and my mom just said, you just got to do your best. You can't allow what's going on outside determine who you are and what you can do and what you can be successful at. Because Kenya says to me, Ma, I just wish we could move. I wish we could do this and do that. I said, well, it's coming, but right now this is where we are and this is what we have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's for me, it's just realizing that, I have to push her, and I cannot allow what's around me or around her to keep her from growing and being the person, or, reaching her goal, or, being a great individual. And she's already that person, personality-wise. And here, she's being successful in all those areas. So I think for me, it starts at home. And it's just going up the ladder for her. She sees her sister in college. She's like, I want to go to college, be a vet. I'm going to do everything I got to do. I want to play tennis and, mentor kids and make a difference. And I want to do this and I want to do that. So, it hasn't deterred her from being a successful individual.
We're first generation here. Our parents didn't speak the language. We didn't get much help in homework. So we know the language and we know the homework. So we're there. We sit down with our children and at the table to do homework, where our parents didn't, because they didn't understand the material, the language.
The language, and it was just difficult for them to
help.
cross that border,
Yes. I think I just saw my family struggle with, a one working parent, the other stay-home mom, and I wanted to do better I wanted to provide more for our kids, and we both do.
Have a better life for
Have
them,
a better life.
Have things that I want our kids to have, things that we didn't have growing up,
A chance at college.
Chance of college.
We did it, when we're older. I want them to get out of high school and go and explore the college, get a good education.
Actually, the way we came into West Paladin was because Ajay won the lottery for kindergarten, and Isha followed suit just because of the sibling, which we were very grateful for, because we don't have to run to two different schools. Isha came from a Montessori school. Ajay too came from a Montessori school. So it was kind of different. Anticipation, anxiety kind of thing. And Isha was actually, the other day, like 3 months ago, she kind of came and told me, Mommy, I think I like this school better. I'm like, now what happened? So she's like, because they have tests. Because now I know where I stand. I'm like, okay. That's what she likes, I think, probably because she's very competitive, and that atmosphere kind of blossoms her out.
Well, my experience here at the school, CICS, has been very positive. I'm very pleased with the staff here. I'm very pleased with the teachers, administration. I think the atmosphere here has allowed Carlos to have a lot of confidence. One thing I was talking to my husband about when I got here is that, like my home, is like the safest place for my kids. And this school is also like another place where my son feels very safe. So when he feels safe and he has that confidence to talk to teachers and tell them what their problem, how he's feeling, or he doesn't understand anything, he's relaxed, he's more open to learn, and the teachers have been like that.
Well, my strength in being a parent of a student, young person, is the faith of God that has kept us alive and going, and being respectful to each other, and to be sensitive to others' needs. That's what has kept us going in this job of parenting. And if I went to college, my children have to go up above me. If I make $50,000 a year, my children have to make more than what I make, and that's what I want from my kids, to be better than me, and not to not to be drowned by the worldly world that it's outside. And there's more to life than just our surroundings, and there's a lot of other things that we can enjoy, but we cannot enjoy them if we don't have an education. And that's what I push my kids to do, to get a good education. If they want to travel around the world, why not? But if they don't have an education, they can't. They're going to be basically stuck wherever they are.
The thing I like best about the teachers at CITS Patriots is that they help us get our learning done and help us finish everything.
The teachers at this school do a lot of hands-on work, and they take the time to explain everything, and if you need to go slower, they'll just help you think through all of it. My biggest accomplishment this year is that I have been able to make new friends since this is my first year, and I've been able to fit in with all the other kids. You can ask them questions if you don't understand things, and honestly, they could be like another teacher for you.
I would describe the teachers at this school intelligent, smart, and basically they're some good teachers, and they won't try to yell at you most of the time, but if you test them, they will.
To be honest, my biggest accomplishment is my ISAT. Because I got real mad one time. Threw a fit, didn't want to do it. But my teacher took me out, took me back in, and I did the test right in front of him, and I never gave up. And it was just to practice, see who you was at, and Mr. Wild knew where I was at. What made me blow up was, I know people, like some of the girls say, your handwriting is terrible, but I don't care, so I didn't feel like writing. I had to write a paragraph. Just a big fit.
But that's one thing about CICS Patriots. There are at least
zero tolerance.
There's no bullies in CICS Patriots. You come here, what they tell you, that's exactly what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a good learning environment, no bullying, there's zero tolerance. So if parents, if you guys get a call home about your son or your daughter, well, that's because they were cutting up in class.
Well, one thing about this school, and we learned, honestly, we laughed at the bullies. We laughed at the bullies that was bullying another kid, and we learned our lesson, and it never happened again. And we made sure that never happened again. At this school, we learned more. Character ed is probably one of the most important specials that we have.
Out of music, PE, even though PE is fun, and physical ed, active, you get to play for 30, 40 minutes. Character ed helps you, and bullying is not cool. Bullying, I can tell you right now, it's not.
And even though that we play sports and gyms is best, we get to run around, character ed, when you really paying attention, you really learn something. It's like you really care, and we want to stop bullying.
So you boys going to college?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
Cause I love one thing. I love math. I love school. I like being in school, and I want to play football.
Yeah, I really want to learn stuff, and what I learned in college can help me later on in life. Once you get your degree or your master's, life is pretty much easier.
And it's free.
Life is just pretty much easier. You already know if you get a job that
you have a better job.
Yeah, you'll have a very good job. Like my dad works at Chrysler, you'll have a good job and you'll get more money just because you went to college, and that kind of seems fair. You got your education, and now you know everything you needed to know.
I think the teachers here they give effort in every part of their day. They teach the kids. They try to make activities fun for us so we can actually enjoy it and be engaged. And they're nice.
I like the school because sometimes the teachers, when I have problems, they show me how to do it and how to have strategies to help me to get better at that thing. And because even when you do wrong, they give you compliments on what you did right, and they teach you how to be respectful and be a good person. When you have a problem with somebody, they know the right solution to have, and they trust you, and they have they're funny sometimes, and they really they make you feel better when you are afraid something will happen.
The teachers here at West Belden, they're amazing, and they push us as hard as they can so that we could learn as much as we can.
How do they push you?
They push us by giving us a lot of work so that we could so that our brains can grow.
Sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah. You don't want a brain to shrink, do you? You want it to grow, right?
I think all the teachers all around are really, really good. They're not just the textbook teachers. They tell you to open up the textbook and read out of it. They actually guide you through it, and they give you hands-on activities that make learning actually fun. Everyone's really nice. You don't have a problem. We don't really have problems with bullying or any of that stuff. Everybody's really, really nice on this campus.
Why do you think that is that way?
I think it's just how the teachers have reinforced us to act, and I guess that everybody's pretty much really mature. I like coming to West Belden because all the teachers and all the students, it all feels just like one big family where it's all open, where you can talk about whatever you want and you don't get any judgment. I don't know how things can get better if they're already the best they can be. This is actually a really, really nice school, and I feel like I'm really lucky to get in.
For more information, please call 312-332-4998 or visit us on the web at distinctiveschools.org.